year-old to his secret dungeon. Like, what? Is y'all ready to watch this? Y'all getting the heebie-jeebies, man? The good thing is it's the middle of the day for us right now. If you're watching this at night, it might get a little creepy for you. I'm just letting you know right now. She would not be in out. Okay. Let's do it, man.
This is 19-year-old Sade Robinson leaving
Hell
a
no,
bar
I'm not
with
going
her
to do that.
date,
Look at
unaware that these are the last hours of her life. While she's been enjoying the chance to meet someone new, her date has been focused on something darker.
Look at this.
Far darker.
Here at Carlos Hangout, we believe everyone deserves a payment as mods. You guys really believe that if you're a mod in my Twitch stream that you deserve a payment? bruh, like I need a payment, bro. I could barely even get by right now, dog. You know, so like, how am I supposed to pay y'all? Y'all gotta wait till I get a payment so I can give you a payment.
And just minutes from now, he'll put that plan into motion. What happens next will lead Milwaukee police into one of the most disturbing investigations of their careers.
That's gnarly, bro. But just a bone. Ah, shit.
It's just on the lake there. You follow what down there? A lake. Human lake.
It's a rainy afternoon in Milwaukee County.
It's
when
about to get
police
real,
receive a
y'all.
request for a welfare check on a missing teenager. 19-year-old Sade Robinson
Damn,
reportedly
bro.
went on a date the previous.
She was so young at 19, bro. Do you think that like she might have been like a
check on
a sex worker?
Teenager.
Cause look at her.
19-year-old.
Like look at her, bro, and then look at the big old white man that she is with. You know, like it just seems like weird, you know, like to be so young and be with this guy. Milwaukee got them YNs. This shit so fake. Is it fake, bro? I don't think it's fake, bro. This dude is known for telling real shit, bro. It's real. If it was fake, his shit would be flooded with like fake.
Sade Robinson reportedly went on a date the previous evening and hasn't been seen since.
Miss Robinson, Milwaukee
People do make fake videos like this though, huh?
police, please answer the door. We're gonna come in otherwise. I don't hear anything.
Nobody's seen her since the date.
Is this your car insurance?
Bro, nah. Like, look at it.
Sade is just one.
Nobody's seen her since the date.
Bro, hold on,
Nobody's seen her
bro.
since the
Like, it just seems like nobody's seen her since the date.
date.
Bro, what the fuck? Nah, hell nah, bro. This shit is fake, huh? Is it fake? Are we watching fake shit? Nah, bro. We got to keep debunking, bro. We got to keep debunking this. Is it fake? Nah, bro. I don't know, bro. Because Beyond Evil, I feel like his videos are real. Look at how many likes he gets, bro. Look at, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at all the comments. If it was fake, everyone would be talking crap in the comments.
Sade is just 1 month away from graduating with a degree in criminal justice and has plans to join the Air Force. She is ambitious, hardworking, and punctual. So when she failed to show up for her shift at the local pizza shuttle, her coworkers knew something was very wrong. It has been less than 12 hours since Sade was last heard from, but her disappearance is troubling officers for unusually disturbing reasons. Earlier that day, a harrowing 911 call had come through to the Milwaukee Sheriff's Office.
What's the time? We're about to time by the golf course. Okay.
We're debunking it, bro, regardless.
No, we just on the lake there. It's on the lake, down by the lake on the clay. You follow what down there? A human lake.
The call has come from a remote stretch of beach on the Lake Michigan shoreline, right below a rocky area of woodland called Warnemont Park. As officers arrive, they find a man waiting at the scene who tells the officers he was walking with a friend when something caught his...
Like, what are you doing walking out there, though? Bro, honestly, this does almost seem like it's fake.
eye halfway up the bluff.
They walked down the esker from Sheridan, started walking south just for fun, rough day on the beach. As they were walking, see that leg right there? Yeah.
said that it was up about approximately where the end of that stick, that branches,
bushes right there.
that bushes, so that they saw it up
So
there.
it's like up on the hill, kind of? Yeah. Okay.
Bro, I hate that AI does that shit, bro. It makes us like, when we watch videos, like, is this real or not? Like, now I gotta really look this up. Like, we really gotta look this up, man. Right? Like, I'm curious to look this up on Google. Like, isn't there like an AI detector for these things? Let me see, bro. We're about to see. What does the sun does it on the way? But you got to know.
And can you stop singing that song?
Bro, I'm trying to see if like this shit is. Look, no. Look, this is him. Hold on, bro. This is on the New York Post. New York. Alleged killer of student Sade Robinson had sex dungeon in his basement with sling restraints and handcuffs police. Dave's, nah, bro, it's real. Look. That's him in jail. What? Nah. A sicko accused of killing and dismembering 19-year-old college student Sade Robinson had a sex dungeon and in the basement of a Milwaukee home, and authorities found blood smeared on the bed and walls of the staircase leading into the creepy cellar. Disturbingly, the blood found at Maxwell's Anderson's property is not from Robinson's, according to Wisconsin police. In the basement, the creep had a sex sling, restraints, and handcuffs. The police told the Post. Although the police had small windows, a neighbor told the Post they were covered up so no one could see inside. There's the girl, bro. Wow. Was a verse that her family wrote. Damn, bro. Now she had a GoFundMe and everything.
It was about, I don't know, maybe 7 feet. 7 feet east on the rock. I moved it just for evidence purposes.
All right, hang on, Evan. We'll talk to you some more, okay?
The leg appears to have been cleanly sawn off at the hip. The victim is a young African-American female. Disturbingly, there is still pink nail polish on her toes.
If it's up on the hill, like I said, the waves aren't going that high. If somebody could be killed and dumped over.
Let's clear the air, make sure there's not the rest of her up there. That's gnarly, bro. Yeah. Have you find one before? Or just a bone? Ah, shit.
I mean, this look well preserved. That's what I was saying. Like, it looks like it doesn't look that old. You know what I mean?
Officers have already made two important observations. The body part was not washed ashore, but thrown down from the wooded area above the beach. And whatever happened here occurred just hours ago. Both suspicions will prove correct. 10 miles from the discovery on the lakefront, a young woman has been reported missing, and her burnt-out Honda Civic was found on an abandoned property.
Damn,
While the
man.
vehicle has sustained heavy damage, some key evidence does remain. The registration plate belonging to Sade Robinson, the missing teen. Inside the trunk, her purse, shoes, and items of clothing. Police now.
All right, let's debunk a little more, bro. Sade Robinson. Nah, this is actually real, bro. Sade Robinson was a 19-year-old college student who was reported missing in Milwaukee, Wisconsin on April 2nd, 2024. A severe human leg was found nearby park later that day and subsequently determined preliminary DNA testing to belong to Robinson. Damn, man. Wow.
Now have a missing woman, a burned-out vehicle, and a severed body part. Enough for the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department to launch a homicide investigation. While forensic teams begin scouring the lakeshore for remains, investigators arrive at the Robinson family home to break the tragic news to Sade's family. It is a routine first step in any investigation, but things are about to take a turn that no one anticipated.
Thanks, Mike.
Sorry for the ads.
So you can get these delivered?
It's literally water.com.
Sade's sister tells officers that she and Sade share the Life 360 app, a location sharing app which tracks an individual's location with greater precision than any cell phone data. It could prove a crucial lead for detectives, and just as they hoped, the app provides the exact map of Sade's every move the night she vanished. Together with surveillance footage pulled from each of her locations, officers now have a complete account of her every last moment. This is Sade Robinson leaving for work on the morning of April the 1st. That afternoon, she exchanges...
Live 360 comes in clutch. Bro, I didn't know, bro. Like, I want to talk to y'all about that, but I wasn't sure if I should, but y'all bring it up. That app, bro, is like, you could extra stalk someone on it. Like, if you have someone's location, that shit shows everything, bro. Everything. You know, like, the Apple one is good, but, like, the Live 360 one, bro, let me tell you, that one right there,
text with a man she met just
that
3 days
one, bro,
earlier,
you can track
Maxwell
anything.
Anderson, an insurance salesman turned bartender. Max met Sade when she applied for a job at the club where he works. By 5 p.m., they've settled on what seems to be the perfect location for a first date, the Twisted Fisherman, a restaurant overlooking the Menominee River. But by the time Sade arrives, wind and rain have emptied the riverside patio. She checks her hair and then enters the bar, where she greets Maxwell at the counter. At 33, Maxwell is considerably older than Sade, and he's made no secret of his interest in her. As investigators review the footage, several unsettling details catch their attention. Max seems distant, rarely looking at Sade or engaging
33 years old, bro, and she's 19.
With her directly. It could be nerves or something more concerning. Still, by the time they leave, the date seems to be going smoothly enough for them to continue on to a nearby sports bar. CCTV footage captures them walking toward Duke's on Water. They order drinks and play beer pong with another couple, two people just like them, enjoying their Friday night. Sade, at least, seems to be having a good time, but that, of course, is because she has no idea who Maxwell really is. While one team of investigators pores over surveillance footage, another is digging into Maxwell's past, and what they uncover is disturbing. Maxwell has a lengthy criminal record, including convictions for battery, assault, and domestic abuse. More troubling still, just months earlier, a woman had filed a complaint alleging that Max drugged her during a dinner date and then aggressively pressured her to go home with him.
Damn.
She had been so ill, she called a friend to come and collect her. They don't know it yet, but investigators have only scratched the surface. At this point, however, the information is not enough to conclude that he is capable of murder. Surveillance footage shows that at 9 p.m., Sade makes a fateful decision. She leaves the bar with Maxwell. They walk towards his car, their behavior unremarkable to anyone who might pass them. Maxwell briefly puts his hand on her waist as they cross the street, then drive together to Maxwell's house on the south side of the city. At around 9:25 p.m., a doorbell cam captures them arriving. Over the next few hours, faint silhouettes move back and forth on the upper floor, Maxwell's living room. The movement continues for several hours, during which time officers can only hope the date is panning positively, a hope far removed from the gruesome truth they'll learn just hours from now. The time is now 12 a.m. on April the 2nd, the same day the severed leg would be found on the shore of Lake Michigan. Footage captures two brief flashes as Sade unlocks her car, then drives in the direction of her apartment. But this is where things take a strange turn. Instead of driving home, surveillance cameras capture her driving aimlessly. The next 2 hours, her Honda Civic moves between random locations, the windows fogged with condensation. Then, just before 3 a.m., the car changes course and begins to move away from the city. Officers soon realize where it's headed, to the western shore of Lake Michigan and Warmount Park. At 2:52 a.m., Sade's Life 360 shows her arriving at that park, where all movement stops. Her phone goes dead at 4:30 a.m. But why has she gone to this spot in the first place? Investigators pulled surveillance footage from a nearby pump house. What they see next is spine-chilling. Grainy footage shows the dark silhouette of a man approaching the bluff. Whoever it is, they are dragging something heavy across the rocks towards the lake. 90 minutes later, the shadowy figure appears again. This time, he's headed back towards the tree line, and he's carrying a large backpack. For investigators, identifying the man in the footage is clearly the key to uncovering who is responsible for Sade's death. Investigators return to the doorbell footage from Maxwell's apartment. Only one figure can be seen leaving that night. Officers assume it was Sade, but a far darker reality is now taking hold. Perhaps it wasn't Sade at all. Perhaps she never left the house, or at least not alive. The only way for officers to determine this is by accessing Maxwell's house. While they wait for the warrant to be processed, detectives canvass the neighborhood for witnesses and quickly uncover disturbing new information. Neighbors describe seeing Maxwell regularly digging in his yard, supposedly part of an underground room he was building. One neighbor tells detectives Maxwell's basement windows are permanently covered over with newspaper and what looks like painter's tarp. Each new detail is painting an increasingly troubling picture. But if anyone knows the truth about what goes on in that house, it is Maxwell's tenant, Pete Worthington, who rents the middle floor. Detectives bring him in for an interview.
Is there anything out of place or weird that you find down in the basement?
I just thought he was always a dirty guy, you know. When I go down there in the basement, the only thing that's really out of place, you know, he's got a bunch of tools and stuff everywhere, a bunch of paint everywhere, but it's always been that way. Okay. I didn't really notice anything in the basement since then that would be considered odd. I just thought he was an odd dude. He's always working on like arts and crafts, not arts and crafts, but like home he calls it home improvement, but he's obviously no good at it. Constantly building weird stuff, or
he said he's no good at it.
That's above our washer and dryer out of like a door or something. And so he's always constantly doing like arts and crafts and stuff, and you know, in the basement, as far as the basement goes, that's just how it's always looked. Okay. So I never thought anything of it. It's his house, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, like an odd person? Like what character? Like you said, just like the woodworking.
Yeah,
kind of
just
stuff?
the woodworking, and like he'd be building all this stuff, and he was constantly hammering. Like in his attic, I know that he did some work up there, and that was one of my biggest grievances with him. And it's like, I don't want to work all day, and then come home and hear you beating on stuff. You know, and so that's my biggest grievance. And it's like, well, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I'm building a shelf for over our laundry. Like, you didn't need to do that. That's so weird. There's a 5-panel shelf right next to the washer and dryer that you're not even using.
Yeah, hey, bro, that's like what like drugs will do to you. You guys have you tweaking, doing weird shit like that.
He says he was gonna turn that into a shed with like a basement, and they said like when it gets cold in the winter, that's where I was gonna keep my dogs. And I'm like, this is the dumbest idea I've ever heard in my life. You don't like, you know. And he did do the fence around, and I appreciate that. Having a dog, you know, I like a fenced yard, and he did good with that. And I think that just kind of amped his head up to do all this other stuff, and he's got all these ideas and stuff. And that was supposed to be some kind of subterranean hole for his dogs, and then in the top it was going to be storage for like lawn stuff or whatever. That was his idea. And then there's another hole going like back to the garage. He said he was going to do an outdoor bar there. The guy's just weird, man. He had all these weird ideas that you just, as a normal person, you look at that and you're like, that's never going to work. You know what I mean?
It's not much to go on, but the very next day, a woman will step forward with information that will place Maxwell squarely as the detective's prime suspect.
What if you could have real...
There's just one thing.
Bro, this is THC, dog. This ain't goddamn nicotine.
That I thought was really odd. So on Instagram, March 28th, he sent me this video.
Maxwell's ex-girlfriend shows police a video he had sent her on Instagram. Sure. It's CCTV footage of a suitcase containing the dismembered body of a young woman killed hours earlier by her Tinder date.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. That's pretty fucking weird.
What did you say to it? He said, please be careful out there. Because he was upset I was dating other people. And I said, that's fucked. And I didn't want to talk about it. He's like, yeah, sad. I'll leave you alone now, starting now. Because I didn't want to talk to him.
Meanwhile, another friend tells the police that just a month before meeting Sade, he saw Maxwell's basement covered from floor to ceiling in plastic, with saws and knives scattered around. Maxwell told them he planned to kill and dismember someone there, but the friend had dismissed it as another one of his strange antics. For officers, however, this is all sounding far more sinister. On April the 12th, 2 days after Sade's disappearance, a team of officers arrive at Maxwell's house with a search warrant, while another unit tracks his movements. But as soon as they begin tailing him, he turns and starts heading home. With few other options, officers intercept him 2 blocks from his house under the pretense of a traffic violation, and they arrest him.
32 head to southbound Hampton on, 45 southbound Hampton on for a bottle return for highway.
Any weapons on you, sir?
No.
Stop.
What's going on?
Somebody just radio it.
Yeah, bro. He had that coming. He had that coming for sure.
124 dispatch.
So.
He's like, what did I do? You know exactly what you did, buddy. Don't try to play dumb now. We all know what you did.
Throughout the ride, Maxwell stays calm but looks visibly shaken, as if trying to work out why he's been arrested. He's taken into custody at the Milwaukee police station and escorted into an interrogation room, where he requests a lawyer and never speaks to detectives again.
Go up those stairs. Just take his 2 jackets, boots, belt. Boots.
You ain't ever gonna see the day of light again, buddy. You might as well just let him know right now, man. They know he did it. You did it, bud. Now you're going to jail.
Anything in your pockets? No.
You might just stand up real quick and double check your pockets. Just makes it with me.
His strategy will do nothing to help his case, however. While Maxwell awaits in the county jail, investigators are busy combing through his apartment and downloading the contents of his phone.
Dang.
But here again, things are about to take an
Everything from the phone, man. Once they get your phone, they're gonna have everything they need.
unexpected turn.
You gotta be
Detectives
smart.
searching the apartment are stunned to find no evidence of a crime scene, but all the appearances of one. In fact, this will be one of the most disturbing residences these veteran officers will ever encounter. Bladed weapons are in every room. Machetes, axes, knives,
Oh,
51
damn.
blades in the kitchen alone. Blood spatters are visible on the walls, bedding, and flooring. In the basement, officers uncover a makeshift sex dungeon, complete with hidden rooms,
What?
slings, restraints,
Ugh.
handcuffs, and torture devices. Shelves.
Oh, nah, bro. So, like, the roommate never went down there and saw any of this and thought nothing. He probably didn't think nothing of it because, you know, he was used to him doing tweaker activity type things. You get what I'm saying? So he
and
didn't think
drawers
nothing of
contain
it.
surgical gloves, duct tape, zip ties, and plastic sheeting. Most disturbing are the things hidden out of sight, stuffed between support beams and inside walls. Notepads listing women's contact details and personal information. Bags of
Bruh.
women's
What?
clothing, shoes, and underwear.
Oh,
Ledgers full
nah.
of twisted fantasies. And in the garden, investigators find signs of Maxwell's interest in digging. But it looks nothing like construction work. Yet, for all its horrors, none of it directly ties Maxwell to Sade's murder.
Bro, this fool is so scandalous, bro. Like it's just wild to me, you know, like why would you do something like that? Like, look at this woman, bro. She was 19 years old. 19, bro. She ain't deserve that shit. She had her whole life ahead of herself. Dude just took that from her. He just went and took it.
The blood is later determined to be canine. None of the knives test positive for Sade's DNA. There is no sign of a cleanup operation. However sinister this house may be, it's not enough to lay charges, and officers find themselves back at the drawing board. CCTV has provided investigators with every major breakthrough so far, and now they turn back to it once again. Someone drove Sade's car away from the beach that night before setting it on fire. But who? Investigators zero in on the area where her burnt-out car was found.
What they doing?
Two witnesses have just seen a car on fire and asked someone to call the fire department, but officers quickly notice one other person in the footage. The unknown figure is wearing a hoodie and carrying a heavy backpack. He moves quickly, like he's trying to distance himself from the scene. A moment later, he reaches a bus stop and boards a city bus. The next footage comes from a camera inside
him.
that bus. A man's face comes clearly in
Bruh,
Maxwell
no. It was him, bro. No way. He lit the whole car on fire. What?
When people hear the words print on demand, they
So wild.
A moment later, he reaches a bus stop and boards a city bus.
I'm about
The
to.
next footage comes from a camera inside that bus. A man's face comes clearly into view. Maxwell Anderson.
What about you?
That's him, bro. He lit the car on fire and then dipped. It's like, how do you think you're gonna do stuff like this and get away with it, right? Like, there's cameras everywhere. Like, they got you right here red-handed, you know? Like, how, like, what makes you think you're slick, bro?
It is powerful circumstantial evidence, but without a crime scene or DNA evidence and still nothing connecting him to her death, not enough. There is, however, one last piece of evidence that investigators have yet to examine, and it's about to provide detectives with the proof they need. When forensic technicians download the contents of Maxwell's phone, they discovered dozens of images taken shortly after midnight on April the 2nd. Images of Sade that he had taken and deleted. At 12:04 a.m., Maxwell takes the first photo of the woman. She is lying face down on his couch, incapacitated, an arm over her face. In images that follow, she is in various states of undress. A white male's hands can be seen groping her. As he is taking photos, Maxwell has turned on an episode of the series Love, Death, and Robots. It features a dismembered corpse on a beach. Detectives have just one last thing to do. On April the 4th, Maxwell Anderson is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, mutilation of a corpse, and arson. In the days leading up to his trial, human remains continue to wash up along the shores around Milwaukee.
County 911, this is Brian. What is the location of your emergency?
Hi, this is Oak Creek. I have a caller on the line. She is going to be on the beach. If you and advise that she is out with a deceased body or body part.
Okay.
It looks like a back and the butt and an arm.
A foot is found not far from the burned-out Honda Civic.
Oh, no.
Nearly a month later, an arm washes up on a beach in Waukegan, Illinois. All the remains have since been identified as belonging to Sade Robinson. During his trial, prosecutors argue that Maxwell's fast and confident actions that night suggested extensive planning. The evidence on his phone suggests Sade Robinson was drugged at his home before he killed her and drove away in her vehicle. The lack of any blood evidence in her car suggests that she was dismembered on the beach during the 90-minute window in which Maxwell was out of view of any cameras. He has not been connected to any further homicides. On June the 6th, 2025, a jury found Maxwell Anderson guilty on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison. To this day, he protests his innocence.
I would like to start by saying that from the bottom of my heart, my deepest and most sincere condolences go out to Sade's family, as well as everyone else affected by this tragedy. That being said, Your Honor, I took this to trial without ever once trying to make a plea deal of any kind, because I did not commit these crimes. And so I plan to appeal my convictions while I hope and pray that further investigations not only prove my innocence, but find and deliver true justice.
Damn.
In September of 2024,
it's like, what if he didn't do it, though? Right?
A mural of Sade Robinson was painted near the entrance.
What if he was, like, framed, you know? Like, you guys ever see movies where people are, like, framed?
The shuttle, where she once worked.
People grabbing a slice at Pizza Shuttle on the east side will notice something new. A mural of 19-year-old Sade Robinson. A face that regulars would recognize.
Wanted better for herself, she wanted better for me. And she was looking to join the Air Force, so she had been meeting with recruiters. That's how much she wanted to do everything that she dreamed of doing. Seeing her live her life as such a hard worker who never let anything stop her, I knew that she would want me to do that after I lost her, that she would want me to keep living. And so I'm gonna remember her by following in her footsteps and fill the hole that she left, although I know I can never live up to anywhere near her shoes.
We would like to extend our most sincere condolences to the friend.
R.I.P., man. And if that guy didn't, man, this is brutal. No one deserves anything like this. Okay? That was a very touching video. That's going to wrap it up. Appreciate y'all for watching my reaction. Like the video, drop comments, subscribe. Original video will be tagged down below in the description. Peace out. Love y'all. Take care.